Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Am I on? Let's see what is going on here. Okay, so apparently I'm now here. I'm live. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm live. Cool, I think. No? How do I make this thing bigger? Do I do it here? Now what? The internet can totally see you. To stop, use your encoder. I can be totally seen. I appear to be live. Is this thing on? Status bar. There's a significant delay. There's a significant delay. How much of a delay is there? Let me see. There's a significant delay. How much of a delay is there? Let me see. There's a significant delay. How much of a delay is there? Let me see. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see here. Just timing this out. Okay, let's see here. Just timing this out. So about like a 10 or 15 second delay, and wait a minute. According to this, there are 3 people watching. Just testing here, guys, folks. I don't know what I'm doing. Wait a minute. According to this, there are 3 people watching. Okay. Oh, Dave Beaver. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, buddy? How are you, Dave Beaver? Good to see you, my friend. I wonder who else is here. Is there a way I can find out? See participants. Okay, just the 2 of us. Dave, can you see? Okay. All right. I don't know what I'm doing, man, but I'm just figuring it out. Let's see here. Let me come up here. I'm probably getting some significant lag on this thing. Cool, man. So how's it going, Dave? I'm sorry this doesn't let us directly talk to one another. This looks like it's kind of almost semi one way. I can only see you in the chat. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to keep faking it, man. That's it. I fake a lot. Anyway, according to this, though, there are 4 people watching. If you're a 4th person watching and you'd like to just type something in the chat just to let me know you're here, be great to have you. Great to know who you are. Yeah, maybe I'll stick around and stay live here for a little bit and just see if people want to drop by, ask me any astronomy questions or anything like that. Who knows? I've seen some really good live streams here on YouTube where people they can keep talking, they can keep the energy up, and they just keep people coming in, and people go nuts, and chat goes wild, and I have no idea how any of that happens. I figured this is just something I got to learn how to do, and I'll just continue to learn how to do all the time. YouTube is limiting my comments. All right. YouTube is limiting. Okay, I think if you try to type in too many things too quickly, it cuts you back a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Okay, it says automatically block spam messages. I'm going to turn that off just in case that's getting in the way. Um, all right, can you see this? Let's see. There's just a comment there that I put out there on the stream comments to see if that's even coming through. That's right, Leo. Can I pull this chat up here? Oh my gosh, it's Nick Nimmin. Holy gosh, Nick, you're literally watching my very first attempt at streaming on this. I don't know what I'm doing, man. Um, but and Cam, welcome to see. Good to see you. Thanks so much for dropping by. Um, well, anyway, yeah, I'm purely experimenting here with the live streaming. Never did this before, never tried it. Also, was just curious to know how my little MacBook Air can handle it. I guess it's handling it okay. Obviously, it could do a little bit better. But Dave, your wife wants to know if my thoughts on Elon Musk and his space adventures. My thoughts are more power to him. I mean, he's really making space a lot more affordable, which is hardly to say that it's something that you and I are going to be able to, spend our money on and put spacecraft up in orbit. But the fact that he's getting the launch costs down to like, 40, $60 million a launch, that's like an order of magnitude difference in terms of general launch costs. So that means that he's making space more accessible. And if his goal is to send humans to Mars, or actually what his real goal is to make humanity a multi-planet species. That way, if there's ever any kind of incoming asteroid or something like that, it doesn't completely wipe out humanity. Now, will Elon Musk get there exclusively? I don't know if he will. But what I can say is that he is going to get us quite a bit of the way there. First, by making rockets reusable and the launch costs more affordable. And I think that's the very, very first step. So I think he's going to be successful at the BFR or the BFS, and I'm really looking forward to this Dear Moon project. So I think it's going to be pretty cool for Elon Musk coming up. So what else is going on, Nick? Nick Nimmin, are you in the States yet, or are you shipping out soon? Let's see here. 1980s Retro, welcome. Good to see you. Sorry for the lag. Oh no, what happened to my live stream? No, my live stream is back. Maybe it's back. I don't know. I got this chat window box here. It's kind of moving around, and I can't seem to hold it still. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've been meaning to play around with the streaming stuff that all the kids are into. By the way, if you're okay, you're leaving the day after tomorrow. Very good, excellent. And so, Nick, the conference isn't until the week after next, right? So you're going to be in the States for the better part of a week, I'd imagine. Oh, and by the way, if you are a YouTube creator or you want to become a YouTube creator, you absolutely need to check out Nick Nimmin's channel. He will tell you everything you want to know about creating an amazing YouTube channel. And on top of that, he's got this uh, weekly stream. He spends the entire Saturday with his brother D talking YouTube, talking about how to improve your channel, how to make, how to get your message out there. And man, I've learned so much from this guy. So, Nick, having you on my very, very first live stream is a real honor, my friend, and I'm very grateful for you and everybody dropping by. Who else is here? So, yeah, it's back. Okay. All right, about 10 to 14 seconds. So, okay, yeah, that's kind of what I thought. And it may be because of my upload rate as well. I probably am only getting something like a couple of megs upload. Cam Albert, I was in Civil Air Patrol for a while and want to know your thoughts about how the organization is doing on being current. Hey, Cam, great question. Obviously, you probably know a little bit about me. I served in Civil Air Patrol for 20 years. Um, JC Smith, welcome. Good to have you. Gosh, this is really cool to see people dropping in. But anyway, Cam, yeah, I was in CAP for 20 years. Very thankful to have served, and thank you for your service in Civil Air Patrol as well, Cam. As far as organizations staying current, it's a really good question. I think there's always going to be a need for it, particularly in the aftermath of some of these hurricanes, where the CAP can offer this really low cost, near real time reconnaissance of disaster assessment and so forth. As far as search and rescue, we know that the aircraft checked out of the 121.5 business, or a long time ago, and now they're it's satellite and it's a lot more efficient. So I don't know how much business CAP is getting. It's also a great program though for young people, turning them on to aviation. So thank you for your service. So what else is going on? This channel, by the way, is about astronomy. If you have any astronomy or space questions, feel free to ask. I'll take a shot at it, kind of speaking off the cuff here. Launchpad Live. I like that. I guess, JC, that's probably going to be the name of this live stream, Launchpad Live, and I'll probably name all my live streams Launchpad Live. I gotta get to someplace where the lighting's better. I've got like this gray ghost thing going on here. I don't know if I can do something. Let's see. If I do this, does that help? I'm kind of just up here at an angle. Would that help at all? I don't know. We'll see. I always check out Nick and Dee's stream. Top information for those guys. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I'm just... it's funny, because of the delay, I see what I did like 14 seconds ago, so yeah. So anyway, what do you guys want to talk about? What are you guys up to this Sunday, and how are we all doing out there? It's a more flattering angle. Yeah, I know. Yeah, thanks. I got the old double chin going on here. Got to lose weight again. I was doing really well there for a while, but I definitely put the pounds back on. Oh my gosh. Yeah, little MacBook is hanging in there. Little MacBook Air, I should say, is hanging in there. So Nick, I need a studio, man. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I need a studio, man. Maybe Dee wants to, I don't know. Maybe he could do like a raffle or something like that. There could be a contest where, you and Dee will fly in and build, a studio or something like that. Who knows? Oh my goodness, this is so cool. What are some space facts I think everyone should know? It's funny. That's a really interesting question, Nick. I mean, the thing, it's really strange that I almost have to bring this up, but I think one increasingly important space fact for people to kind of know is that the Earth is actually a sphere. I know it's almost like a joke, but I mean, you think about the fact that I look at some of my videos and I'll see some of the recommended videos next to it, or the suggested videos, and they're talking about these flat earthers, and like why the Earth is really flat. And it's funny, like, the ancient Greeks understood that the Earth is a sphere. They could watch lunar eclipses and they would notice that the Earth's shadow is always curved. That curvature, or that the only thing that casts a circular curved shadow like that is a sphere. That means that the Earth has to be a sphere, and that's what's casting a spherical shadow into space. So the ancient Greeks understood that the Earth was round, and yeah, there were some people back in like the Dark Ages who didn't know, but thanks to the internet, more people believe that the Earth is flat than at any time ever before. So I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm actually clarifying this. But I kind of have to, particularly for my students. I'd say that there's a number of other misconceptions I think people have about space. That for one thing, it's you automatically go weightless the minute you leave the atmosphere, and that's not true at all. The reason why the astronauts on board the International Space Station are weightless is not because they're in space, but because they are in free fall. They're falling around the Earth. But at the same time that they're falling down to Earth, they're also falling sideways. And it's the fact that the curvature of the Earth just keeps curving away such that they continuously fall and they never actually hit the ground. That's kind of a neat thing about the way space and gravity operates. Now, if you get far enough away from the Earth, then sure, you're just no longer gravitationally affected by the Earth, and you're not going to fall to it anytime soon. But it's a common misconception. Another misconception is that space is automatically cold, and that's not true either. As a matter of fact, if you're basking in the sunlight in space, you no longer have an atmosphere to protect you from incoming solar radiation. So guess what? You actually get really hot really quick. In fact, the surface of the moon, for example, its surface temperature is something like 215 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, that's hot. That's hotter than the boiling point of water. So space is not automatically cold unless you can block that sunlight, at which point the temperature just plunges way down. So Nick's asking, interesting. Do they feel the stomach drop feeling first? Yes, they do, and I guess they always feel the stomach drop feeling. They just get used to it after a while. But that's the reason for space sickness, and that stomach drop feeling is largely because your organs, like your stomach and your liver, and your intestines and everything, they're all kind of now they're floating around. They're no longer sitting down there, you might say. So they're kind of lifted up a little bit because they are now weightless and free to move around inside your body. That's a very, very disorienting and disquieting feeling, and very uncomfortable feeling at first. So yeah, that's a big reason why astronauts do get space sickness. They, carry those little barf bags with them and make use of them. I probably would. I mean, I've never gotten sick in an airplane when we were doing maneuvers, but it's always a matter of time. I figure if I fly long enough, I will eventually. So anyway, what else you guys want to know? Want to hear your thoughts, your questions? I'm your friendly neighborhood astronomer at your service this afternoon. Oh my goodness, wow. Let's see, Dave Beaver says green screen backdrop. Dave, I think we chatted about this briefly. I wouldn't mind doing a green screen. It's just that it's so hard to pull that chroma key off. I think what I'd like to do as far as like a setup or a studio, like right now I shoot all my stuff outside because natural light, it's cheap and really easy to get my hands on when the weather permits and when the cicadas and the birds aren't chirping and things like that. But what I can say is that for an indoor studio, I'm not sure I'd go with a green screen because of that chroma problem. But what I think I might do instead is try to set up something kind of like what Nick does in his videos, Nick Nimmin does. You have like a monitor with like the subject of interest on the monitor. I don't know, maybe that would work, and a nice pretty background. So Nick asked, interesting, or wow, I didn't know about the moon either. Oh, okay, Nick, you asked, in a plane was I a pilot? No, Nick, I was not a pilot. I was a volunteer in the Civil Air Patrol, which is the civilian auxiliary to the Air Force. And I flew in airplanes as what's called mission observers. So it's kind of like a co-pilot, really, responsible for the overall mission and navigating and communicating with air traffic control when the pilot was too busy. But here's the little secret: I actually flew a lot. I probably have, gosh, I don't know, maybe like 150 hours of unofficial flight time at the controls. Probably, and certainly a lot more than that just in the aircraft, helping to fly the mission. J.C. Smith asks, what's a good entry telescope for beginners? Best answer for you, J.C., it's the telescope that you will use. I know it seems kind of cute to say, but the reality about telescopes is that it's very easy to go overboard on a telescope that you're just not going to end up using, because everybody wants the nice big telescope that captures a lot of light and delivers bright images at the highest resolution so you can see those faint galaxies and everything like that. But here is the reality about telescopes. The bigger the telescope, the more complex the telescope, the less likely it is you're going to use it, especially if you're at first, right? If you're brand new, just getting started with astronomy. So what I would do instead is I would say this: my advice for new telescopes, stay away from anything that's on the shelves in Target or Costco. Those are built extremely cheap. They're basically toys. And if you would like to consider like a budget, right? I would say probably something that you are going to easily set up and easily take down. Okay, because you're probably just going to spend your first time using a telescope, uh, maybe like in your backyard or your front yard, or if you live in a light polluted area, it'd be kind of nice to be able to take it somewhere. So I tend to recommend going with portability at first. Don't spend too much money. Don't get too crazy. See how you like it. So that's very generic guidance for a first telescope, for an entry-level telescope. Dave, you're asking, can you recommend the best observatory near you in Los Angeles? Why, yes, Dave, there is the Griffin Observatory, or the Griffith Observatory. That's obviously well open to the public. That's a bit of a destination for Angelinos and for tourists and visitors to Los Angeles. I've never been there myself, but I used to work with who is now the director. As far as other observatories, one that I think would be really cool for you to go visit, Dave, would be the Palomar Observatory. I can't remember how far it is from LA, if it's like a couple hours from LA. But the Palomar Observatory is home to the 200-inch Hale telescope. And this was the largest telescope in the world from 1948 to 1973. And then the Soviet Union built an even larger telescope that was slightly larger, I think like 260 inches, if I remember correctly, diameter. But anyway, they were able to, this was the most advanced telescope on the planet, and was actually the most advanced usable telescope on the planet until the early 1990s. So if you can get out to Palomar, the Mount Palomar Observatory on top of Mount Palomar, I know it's in California, you definitely want to check it out. It's a beautiful, beautiful observatory. It's got this whole cool Art Deco thing going on, and it just looks like this gorgeous cathedral to astronomy. That's the best way I could describe it. So what's up? What else is going on, everyone? Let's see. Who else do we have here in the house? Good grief, this is just so cool to see you guys here. I was literally just messing around with all this stuff. And hey, thank you, Nick, for dropping by. And say hi to Dee for me, please. And have a good evening. And I just look forward to seeing more great stuff from you, man. Thanks. Yeah, Dave. I need a trip report from the Griffith Observatory and from Palomar. You're my eyes and ears on the West Coast, there, buddy. What else we have? Oh man. Oh hey, have you been following any of the news about SpaceX and Dear Moon and sending artists to the moon? Have you heard about this? This is really incredible stuff. You know what SpaceX announced? I guess was it earlier this week, or was it a week ago? I guess it was a week ago or so, right? So they have a Japanese investor who's ponying up a huge chunk of the cost for the development of the big F rocket. I think this is the big Falcon rocket, and they're going to send him and 6 or 8 of his closest friends to the moon, like around the moon, Apollo 8 style, and back again. And he's like a huge art lover, this guy, and he's taking artists with him. I don't know who he's going to take, but if you find yourself of an artistic bent, you may want to get a hold of this guy. His name is Yasu Maezawa. I'm sure every artist in the entire world is probably dropping him a line on Twitter, and he's taking artists to the moon. And why not, right? I mean, we've sent test pilots. We've sent actually to the moon. We've sent test pilots and 1 scientist. It was a geologist who flew on Apollo 17, the last Apollo mission. And then during the space shuttle era, we got to flying more test pilots, fighter pilots, but also more scientists. A lot of engineers got to go. So it started to expand the definition or the qualifications for an astronaut. But now it's going to take artists. And that's just, in some ways, that's really cool. Although I gotta say that the thing that makes me go, oh my God, are you crazy? I think you'd want to have at least 1 or 2 test pilots on board. People who kind of know how to deal with the unexpected or are accustomed to dealing with the unexpected when things go wrong. So maybe that's what they're going to do. I don't know. But, you know, I think it's a really cool way to just kind of communicate that human experience back to Earth in a way that hasn't really been done yet before. Who knows? All right, ask me anything. What do you want to know? Got a question about astronomy? Got a question about the universe? Got a question about black holes or planets or extrasolar planets? Hey, are you guys following the TESS mission? Have you seen the news? They already found 2 planets. I actually did a video on that, so maybe you have seen that video, but they actually found their first 2 planets. How amazingly cool is that? I mean, it's not unexpected. That's what it's there for. But the fact that they found their first 2 planets, they bagged their first 2 in just the first month of operation, that is way, way cool. And that just, to me, is a really good taste of what is yet to come. I guess I'll do this for about 5 more minutes, and we'll wrap it up for a nice first attempt at live streaming. What else is going on, everybody? Is the Launchpad Astronomy... Okay, Dave, you're asking, is the Launchpad Astronomy channel a one-man operation, or do you have helpers, advisors, or tech pals? Launchpad Astronomy is just me. Our Launchpad workshop is me and Mike Brotherton, plus anyone else we can get to help us out, but that's the live in-person workshop that we do. This YouTube channel, this is all me. This actually is my personal YouTube channel. I just changed the name from Christian Ready to Launchpad Astronomy because I think that helped people to understand what the channel is all about. Although I think I should probably get like a Patreon together and, you know, do like a membership type of thing. Like, hey, if you want to help me, support me at this level, you know, you could be like an advisor or preview stuff. I don't know, to see what I think people would benefit the most from. And that's part of the reason why it takes me as long as it does to produce the videos, because I'm doing the research and I'm writing my script and doing all the editing. I'm learning an awful lot. I love the creative process, but it takes me a while. So what else is going on, folks? Oh, let's see here. Oh, that's right. So now I'm looking at okay, so apparently there's a neutron star, which is the remnant of a once super, well, much more massive star that exploded, right? And left behind this ultra compressed core that's just forged itself into essentially a solid ball of neutrons. And now they're detecting these enormous magnetic fields coming off of it, which is not unusual in the sense that there's magnetic fields. After all, if anything is rotating that rapidly as they do, you get these crazy magnetic fields. But these are something like, and I'm probably going to get the number screwed up, but something like 10 billion times stronger than any magnetic field detected. So I need to learn more about that because I think that's going to make for an interesting video. JC, any good internet resources for new enthusiasts? You mean new astronomy enthusiasts? Yeah, may I recommend the Launchpad Astronomy channel? Okay, well, you know what? There's actually a couple of really good blogs out there. There's 2 I can certainly recommend that are written for the public that are well done. The first is Bad Astronomy by Phil Plait, and the other is Starts with a Bang by Ethan Siegel. They're both, you know, astronomers, and I'm trying to do it on YouTube, but they've been doing it in the blog format for a long time. And they've been at it for quite a while. So not only do they know their subjects well, but they also know how to communicate their concepts very well. And I highly invite, I definitely invite you to check out those blogs. I think they're great. They're great resources to stay up to date. And they both, well, I don't know about Ethan Siegel, but I know that Phil Plait, he's like me. He stopped doing research a long time ago and is 100% full committed to just education and outreach. So he's publishing an awful lot. I definitely recommend Phil's blog. The cat's running around down there. Oh no, he's back there. All right, let's see if we can show you My cat Leo. Is Leo in the shot? Maybe he'll show up in the shot, maybe not. We'll see. I'll come over here. What else is going on? All right, well, you know what? It's been about 30 minutes here. I think this was a pretty good first try. Let's see. I don't know if you've got Leo in the shot. That's Leo, my boy. Hi, Leo. Yes, you're on the internet now. Yes, you're more famous than I am. No surprise there. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Yeah, I guess I'll try to do this a little bit more often. And it'd be great just to talk with you guys, hang out, answer your questions about space and astronomy and this amazing universe in which we live. And if you happen to be watching this and you're not subscribed, I invite you to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you can keep ahead or keep abreast of all new videos that come out. So thank you all for coming out, and as always, keep watching the skies.